So, today I thought I wanted to have a little bit of a good moment. So, I decided to my community what changes would they like to see in the next patch notes in the game. And you gave a lot of responses actually, more than I expected. So, today I will try to react to as many of them as possible because there is a lot of them to read. So, without further ado, let's go into it. Some changes I really want to see for some new worlds, like Gale, okay. Super damage reduced, interesting. Gale Super will now be divided into 4 projectiles. Yes. This is indeed like how it worked 1 year ago. So there was this one time where Gale had a bug where his super was not just one single projectile, it was like 4. And that actually allowed you to stack the damage and the recharge rates, which was somewhat of a broken thing, honestly. Hypercharge rate from 4 supers to 3 supers. Very dangerous. Freezing snowstorm power slow duration now based on how many projectiles you hit. This also needs to make me think how easy it is to hit projectiles, but I would definitely say that's overall a little bit of a nerf to Gale, except for the hypercharge. The hypercharge thing would be probably making Gale really toxic, because 2 supers, considering that he just got that recharge rate buff, I could definitely see like the hypercharge base especially making him broken. Mr. P, attack damage increased from 1520 to 1600. Handle with care star power bar will be used only if you hit something with the extra damage. Yeah, I also hate when that happens. But increasing the cooldown from 4 seconds to 8 seconds is just ridiculous. The star power would honestly just be even worse. And finally, on this guy's suggestion, we have Poco. Hypercharge will also increase by 15% the healing. Okay, that's interesting. And the hypercharge shield decaying time increase. Yes, I think like Poco hypercharge, it's weak as hell, so I really like this idea. Name. Chester rework concept. Ooh, a rework for Chester. So, health decreased, yes. Pop rock is 20% larger, okay. Each tick of damage slows enemies for 2 seconds, okay, making the slow last longer, essentially. The first tick of healing from... so the healing from the super of Chester would now be instant. Which I really like, honestly, because how many times that healing was just straight up useless. Ability to see the next super removed. Chester instantly reloads 0.2 ammo for each bell hitting an enemy brawler. Honestly, I feel like that second star power could be really broken, since the first star power, like dealing 150% more damage, relatively mid, I would say. But getting more ammo back, especially if you connect like the 4 bell and the 3rd bell wave, you're just going to have immediately 1.4 ammo back, which it's very, very strong. So that rework to the second star power would be maybe a bit too strong, I'm guessing. But the rework is not done yet, so Hypercharge Chester will only have 2 super in it that will vary between... okay. Yeah, I don't like that, honestly. The diameter of assault... Yeah. So essentially he's nerfing the entirety of the Hypercharge, where you either have the bomb and the slow, or the bomb and the toxic spray. Which I understand, but on top of that, reducing the diameter, I think he means the range. The range of the toxic, I feel like that is a bit too much. Big thing would be that the hypercharge rate would be increased from 25% to 35%. I like the change, but at the same time, I really think that the only thing they would have to do on these hypercharge would literally be to just reduce the bonus damage from like, I think it's 15% to honestly 0%. And the hypercharge could then be increased to like 35%, because it just deals too much damage. And on top of that, there is a bug fix, which yes, the spray would no longer deal double damage on the first tick. I agree with that, but that is assuming that this whole rework would make Chester very strong, because otherwise it's just a neat extra to have, so I don't really mind the bug as long as Chester is weak. Hits required to get the hypercharge reduced from 50 to 35. I'm angry. This guy did not watch my short on
wrong about Stu's hypercharge,
because he says super's not hit, so I'm not gonna read this one. Just give Ash the tank trait.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't have the tank trait, honestly. Maybe it's because they want to keep it just as the rage only. The rage is his tank trait in a certain way. But considering his place, Ash is very niche. Like, I only really use him in ranked, has a last pick against like single shot brawlers. So with the amount of brawlers that also have piercing abilities, I feel like that would be a fair buff. Although Ash would probably be very broken after that. Meeple rework, making them more like a sniper. Okay. Damage increase to 3000, okay. Range from long to very long, so 9 tiles. And reload speed nerfed like crazy, okay. I actually just forgot that Meeple just had like his reload speed even more buffed. But the thing is, if he becomes a sniper, he would just be heck annoying, like Gus, for example. Gus in the long-range maps, he's annoying because he just hits shots way too easily. And honestly, I don't want another brawler like that, so personally, let Meeple stay like he is. I actually kinda like how he's in the meta right now. My balance changes? Yes, okay. Sam. Sam loads his super over time when his gloves aren't on. That is good, but for a store power, not for just a baseline ability, if I'm being honest. Sam Hypercharge returns to him when it reaches maximum range or when it hits a wall. So, as soon as you connect it to a wall, or when you hit max range, it automatically comes back to you. That could be really strong, honestly. Against a wall, you just destroy anyone, so pretty strong, honestly. Hypercharge rate 3 supers instead of 4, if I'm correct. And when Sam's gloves are not on him, enemies charge your super... No. That, imagine just suddenly one brawler breaks every single supercharge rate in the game. No, that cannot happen. Lily, hypercharge damage boost minus 5%. Yeah. Crow HP reduced from 5,600 to 5,300. Okay. I don't understand people that are saying that Crow is broken. I really don't see it. He's annoying, yes. The slow can be good. The shield, damn, he doesn't die. But I feel like nerfing the HP is just not the way. If you want to nerf something, in my eyes, nerf the shield gadget. Jaeyoung. Bonus speed reduced, bonus speed from super reduced, and a hypercharge. Yeah, that is assuming when the hypercharge comes. And I don't understand why these most recent hypercharges don't really have the effect of the supercharging over time or the tank trait. Very weird. I think that these maybe means the reward to hypercharges, but I have no idea. Bonus speed. Both, no idea. I am also a bit the same situation as Crow. I don't understand why people complain so much about Jaeyoung. I have played a lot of times against him, and I've just never seen really the issue. The only thing that I dislike about him is honestly the first gadget, so I disagree on this one. Hypercharge, Kaze, damage boost reduced. Yes, that is honestly a really good idea. Geisha form super duration. This also nerfs the hypercharge, and like, I think it's okay, but personally, if he would want to go that route, I would actually say to just really nerf the charge rate in general. Kit, hypercharge rate nerf, yes. Ollie, hypercharge, okay, yeah, he's already talking about the hypercharge, which I am just praying Ollie hypercharge is not what it looks like. Cordelius, damage reduced so to what it is before it got nerfed a long time ago, which I'm assuming he's only talking about the damage, but if this actually happened in game, it would also require a charge rate nerf, which I don't think he really needs, so I'm considering it's only the damage. Draco, bonus flames reduced. Yeah, that's what I said in my video, so yeah. Charlie, HP reduced. This guy does not know Charlie HP apparently, because she does not have 6,600, she has 7,000. Bunny, hypercharge stun duration from 2 seconds to 1 second, stat uncertain. Yeah, I also don't know for how long she stuns, but I really doubt it is 2 seconds. I really don't feel like it's that long. Gus, attack width from 1 tile to 0.6 tiles. I don't just complain about Gus, but don't do that to him, because otherwise he would be useless. Grom, reload speed buffed. Yes, I agree. I said it in my video. Lola, hypercharge equal HP and hypercharge equal damage. I don't like Lola's hypercharge. Straight up. I would just prefer if she had a second ego, honestly. I feel like that would be way much funnier, but yeah, this would also work. This would also work very well. Maisie, attack range increased by 1 tile. Well, that'd be interesting because of the way that her speed scales throughout her range, so if this meant that it would take longer to reach maximum speed, I would actually say that this would be a nerf in most case scenarios, because, yeah, no one really uses Maisie like a sniper right now, but maybe with this buff, people could use her, so I guess it really depends on that. Max, supercharge from 14 hits to 12 hits. Should get their super in just 3 ammo. Seems a bit too much, personally. Rosa, no, don't buff her HP, please don't. Just buff her charge rate somehow, in my opinion. Meg, Mecha form attack range increase. Yeah, I feel like the reduction of the attack just kind of make Meg this weird brawler. I've made a whole video about it, so just watch it. Mecha form damage, no! Don't reduce her damage by more than 10%. No. Jessie, HP increase from 6,200 to 6,700. Spark plug. Wait, spark plug is what gadget? I always go for first or second gadget. I don't know the gadget names. And I'm not going to watch it right now, so thinking 15 seconds. I'm pretty sure that's the slow. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the slow. I mean, trying to buff Jessie outside of Heist. Eve, reload speed reduced. Interesting, hypercharge rate reduced as well. Actually, no, increased. Yeah, from requiring less hits. Eve is honestly outshined by every single brawler that walks on water. So having a smaller reload would really help. But also having the hypercharge rate buff could be a bit too much. Especially because that hypercharge has a lot of potential. I mean, the amount of pets that just spawn out of nowhere, that's really good. Hypercharge bonus width. That's just ridiculous. That wouldn't change anything, honestly. The hypercharge sprout now pulls enemies toward it like a magnet. No. Item movement speed from normal to very fast and HP. No. Don't do that. He forgot about Shelly. Yeah, when Shelly got her speed increase from normal to very fast, that was busted. So, not only doing that, but also increasing the HP. This guy is severely underestimating the speed of a brawler. Willow, projectile speed increased by 8.71%. I don't think it's necessary. I feel like Willow is kind of decent right now. Colt, plus 15% projectile speed. Sounds a bit too much. Really too much. Pam, almost 15% faster. Interesting. Jessie, 5% more damage, 5% reload speed, 5% health. I don't know the exact stats for that, but I feel like that's pretty reasonable, honestly. She just doesn't do anything except for the turret. Trunk, supercharges over time. I actually would like to do a short on Trunk. Maybe I've already released it. Hopefully. But yeah, I would like to see these to Trunk. Although my only little complaint is that maybe he would get a little bit too close to Daryl in terms of gameplay. Sam, attack damage. That won't change anything. Lumi. Okay, now nerfs. Attack reduced, recall damage reduced. I'm surprised he nerfed more the attack damage than the recall damage, honestly. Zagisha form reduced, crit reduced. This guy really watched my video because these stats are the exact ones of my videos. Cordelius, damage reduced from 1,600 to 1,500. A little bit too much, maybe. I mean, if he actually did that, Cordelius would have only gotten a 20 damage buff, which is nothing, so too much here. Crow, I don't like the health nerf, so please don't. Chuck, hypercharge charges over time in 10 seconds. Whew. Hypercharge rate for 2 supers, yeah. I understood that by the 5 seconds. Oh god. Hypercharge duration to 3 seconds. So essentially you would only get 1 super infinite range. That is a weird thing, honestly, like. So you would have just essentially 1 hypercharge every 10 seconds. Like, just think about that. You would no longer need to put the post in a good position. You'd only really to be careful with walls, and you even had the second gadget, so... Even though it does sound a bit busted in my opinion, I would really like to see this in the game. Meeple. Why is someone suggesting the exact same thing? No, Edgar, damage increased to 1200. Jesus. And super charge rate reduced from 14 hits to 10 hits. That is a lot. I actually don't think his charge rate is 14. I'm pretty sure it is 12, but I could be wrong. Charge rate over time 20% slower. Yeah, so essentially you're just making him rely even more on the first gadget, which, no, make him deal even more damage would just make him even more toxic against people that don't know how to play against him. Although I do like the super charge rate, but then you need to think that this would also buff the hyper charge rate technically. So this would be very bad, honestly, for Edgar in general. Fang, kick damage increased. This is gotta be a joke. Shoot damage increased to 1000. Interesting. So he'll deal decent damage at medium/long range. That's somewhat interesting, actually. That could be a nice little buff without breaking him. Lumi, hit the lights, damage. That's the fire gadget. 500 damage, but the cooldown is increased by 1 second. Increasing the gadget's cooldown by 1 second doesn't do anything, but the bonus damage is great, so I'm taking it. And both gadgets' duration will be increased by 1/10 of a second. Jesus! This is really gonna change everything. Wow. Fix the bug where Lumi's final blast beat would sometimes deal damage but not root. Yeah, I have noticed that, and I have no idea why that happens. I'm only guessing that's because the root actually stays for quite a while and has a bit of delay. That's kind of my guess. Morning stars now return to where Lumi was last standing, even after being defeated. What the? Bibi now has a faster run speed when at lower HP. I'm assuming this is exactly like Frank, and if that was the case, dealing 2800 damage in 0.4 seconds? That sounds really fun to play against. Insane! Bull, stun percent duration decreased. I do agree the second gadget is really strong, but I feel like just a massive cooldown increase would do it. I don't think that reducing the stun is really necessary. Angelo, movement speed reduced. I already said about that. At least this is not when it's only charging, so this would have a bit more impact, I guess. Reload speed decreased from very fast to fast. You have to be more specific, buddy, because very fast can be 0.8 seconds or it can be 1 second. Jesse, main attack projectile no longer slows down after hitting enemies. Main projectile damage no longer decreases after hitting enemies. Fun fact, did you know that is how Jesse was originally? I mean, the part of the damage, not the slow. But yeah, and reducing the damage by 20. Reducing the damage is stupid, because then she would just become weaker against one single target. That is the issue with this idea in general, which was what she used to be. That against one target, she would get bullied, essentially. But if there is a lot of them, you get the turret so incredibly fast that you would destroy all of them. And that is just not fun, honestly. BB's second gadget, next pylon makes enemies stick to the ground for half a second at their place. So a root, as he mentions, will make them do 10% less damage, and after that, they get slowed by 20% by half a second. I actually think that's a nerf, honestly. Looting them for only half a second? That's nearly nothing. In all honesty, because the slow would only be 20% and for half a second as well, I actually prefer the second gadget as it is. And he would increase the cooldown to 18 seconds. And I thought it was already a nerf before he increased the cooldown. Amber, hypercharge rate to... Okay, I was scared for a second. Hypercharge rate increased to 35%, but the bonus damage would be reduced from plus 25% to plus 15%. I like it. I hate bonus stats on hypercharge, so this, amazing. Charlie, health decreased from 7,000 to 6,700, supercharged to 7 hits, and... bug fixed to the second gadget. Yeah, I hate that bug to the second gadget. So essentially, if the gadget breaks very fast, you're stuck. Literally, you can't do anything. So I like these changes overall, and I've actually suggested similar things on my video. I just don't really think that you need a health nerf and a charge rate nerf at the same time. Tara, hypercharge rate reduced from 50% to 40%. Agree, hate this hypercharge. I should have brought water for me. Max health change, an extra 200, supercharge, that's nice, super duration. Yeah, just buffing Max overall. Again, if anything, I actually would like a damage nerf to her, not an HP buff. Super duration being increased. I don't think that's really necessary, honestly. You already get a lot of value out of the 4 seconds. Like, I feel like it has enough time for you to go and even come back, so... I like the charge rate nerf, but the rest is not really necessary. Super heal reduced from 50% to 30%. I agree. And main attack damage reduced from 4,200 to 3,920. Oddly specific number. Health increased by 200. Health being increased is just silly, honestly. Main attack damage, on the other hand, that is a quite big nerf. Like, the thing about Hank is that his fully charged roll just deals so much damage. Being like, 5% less menacing could be a big game changer. On top of that, less heal to the super. I feel like it's honestly a bit too much to only receive 200 bonus HP. Ruffs. Him and his allies can now pick up his hyper super, even if they already are powered up. Yes, I like that change. Rose, supercharge rate from 12 hits to 10 hits. I agree with this one a lot more. Second gadget, when enemies are caught by Rosa gadget, they get poison damage. That seems like a really strong buff to a gadget that I already think it's strong. Health increase? No thank you, she does not need more health. Angelo, movement speed reduced from very fast to fast. I already heard that, Ote. Main attack damage reduced from 4,000 to 3,800. And second gadget, his shot will deal 10% less damage at the cost of him being... Yeah, this is essentially like how M's second gadget works, which... I don't know, I haven't seen that many people complain about him, so... Again, I don't think that is needed. And I think that is just make him even more forgettable than what he already is. Nita. Movement speed increased from normal to fast. Reasonable buff. And range increased by just a little bit. Yeah, that seems reasonable, honestly. It's not... The movement speed is a good buff, but the range buff is practically minimal, so I think that the Nita buff would be really good. Nurse. Charlie range goes from 9 to... No, don't reduce her range. Her range is fine as it is. It should stay like this. Kit buffed range while on an ally is deleted when the hypercharge ends. I didn't know that was a thing, actually. Kit's hypercharge damage buff goes from 25% to 15%. I like that. Lily hypercharge rate? No, do not nerf her hypercharge rate. Just nerf the damage. Lumi's damage from the recall do reduce from 1,800 to 1,550. Maybe a little bit too much, but I agree. Guz's super cost goes from 4 to 5 hits to no, otherwise you would never have the hypercharge. Bonnie's damage buff from the hypercharge, thank you, reduce the damage from 25% 5%, I love that nerf. Cordelia's damage of the main attack reduced from 1,600 to 1,500. As I said before, it's like if his buff never happened if they do that. Kaz's both gadgets cooldowns go from 6 to 9 seconds. First time I ever hear anyone call for a nerf to the gadgets, honestly. Like, there is a lot of... I don't really spam her gadgets, I don't know if you do it, but I don't think the gadgets are that strong, honestly, so... Charlie's speed goes from normal to fast. Oh, so that's the deal. Less range for more speed. That's actually a bit of an interesting one, if I'm being honest. Like... I feel like that could honestly work in a certain way, like... Sacrifice range for speed is a bit of a tricky one, because I am pretty sure that reducing her range also reduces her projectile speed, so... I feel like if she received both of these, I think that should be really good. Lumi's health goes from... Oh, so he buffs her health to nerf the damage. I also like that change. I feel like now it makes more sense. Maybe next time just put everything together so that I don't judge your nerfs before seeing the buffs. Grom's health goes from 5,600 to 6,200. Willow treatment. Yes, literally. Like, she got her HP brutally increased like 2 times. Barley's health increased. No, please don't do that. I don't think he needs more health. He already has 2 healing options, so don't. Chuck's health increased. Yes, I feel like that's fair. Edgar's damage of the main attack goes from 1080 to 1160. Edgar's health goes from 6600 to 7000. What I always said about this buff is that then you have the hypercharge, so Edgar will be broken with the hypercharge. That's simple. And increasing the damage would also imply in a lot of cases a charge rate buff, so getting the hypercharge even faster as well. Rose's health, don't. Fang's shoe travel 20% faster. Broken. 20% faster? Do you know how much that is? Like, Brock went from S tier to like D tier just because his rockets got like what, 11 or 14% slower. So the shoe becoming 20% faster, really too strong. Kit rework. Power hungry, star power removed. Okay. Kit gets a 30% damage reduction. Yeah, I've seen that idea before. No longer makes Kit invisible, it gives him a 50% damage reduction instead. I understand, the invisibility is very annoying, but if you think well enough, if you predict that he's invisible, you can kinda brag about it, so I actually would keep the invisibility personally. While attached to a teammate, Kit still takes damage from the attacks that go through targets. Interesting! Very interesting actually. And if he was standing next to the ally, single attack hits. I hadn't understood the last part, but I really like the first idea, so it would actually make you think if you want to go into an ally, depending on the enemy matchup. So I actually really like that idea. I think I thought about it like once, but then I completely forget about that idea, so I really like that one. Super auto charge removed. No. Super first hit damage reduced by 50%. No, otherwise you would never be able to assassinate anyone with the super. Hopefully this change make him more of a support as he should be instead of an assassin. Whew, this is a bit of a philosophical question. Should Kit be an assassin or a support? You can't really be both, honestly. Kit. Hypercharge multiply from 44% to 33%. His hypercharge multiply is not 44% to start off with, but sure. Draco, super duration reduced from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. First time I actually see someone talking about Draco. Interesting. Super movement speed increased, reduced from 20% to 10%, and last stand duration. Interesting nerfs. I feel like all of these together would kill Draco because right now Draco works very well against medium range brawlers because you just shred them with a baseline. And if there is a tank with a lot of HP or a sniper that is really making your life tricky, hypercharge and you kill them. How simple. But all of these nerfs together seems a bit too much. So personally, maybe one of the three would be more than enough. Unless it was the gadget. The gadget, maybe something else if you would only nerf the gadget, but just one of these nerfs would be enough. Cordelius. Both gadgets cooldown from 18 seconds to 20 seconds. Area charge straight. No, don't do that, and I'm pretty sure that his area charge rate is not 6 tiles, it's actually like 6.33 tiles. So even a bigger nerf. Yeah, Cordelius needs a nerf, but not in the gadgets and not in the area charge rate. That's a very weird thing to suggest, in my opinion. Jean, projectile width 90 degrees, 75 degrees. I understand what he's talking about, but I am pretty... Is it 90 degrees? I think it's more. Like, that really does not look 90 degrees. I would bet, from what I remember, that it's 120, but... Plus, Use Gene. Yeah, he did put this as a nerf, so I guess it makes sense. Use Gene has kind of this area control when you use that. So, I guess this would be actually a nerf. Ollie, reload speed increased, super radius increased, the shield from the second star will be reduced, and super damage will be reduced. So essentially, your super is easier to hit, but deals less damage and you have less shield. And you also reload faster. I don't think he needs that, honestly. Plus, the super radius being increased could be, honestly, even if just by a little bit, could be really annoying because it'll be very easy to manipulate the area and just pull people towards you. And with the buffed reload speed, it would be easier to cycle your supers. So I actually feel like this would be overall a buff, in my opinion. Although that chill nerf is pretty nasty, so maybe that would be good. I generally don't know, so I would not touch Ollie. personally, until he gets the hypercharge. Kaze. Geisha form reload nerfed, ninja form damage. Jesus, that is a that is a brutal nerf on the damage. No, don't do honestly either one of those. I don't know why people complain so much about Geisha reload. Like, I understand it, you had the dashes very often, but I feel like reducing the damage is the more important thing. And he reduced the damage on the ninja by 20%. He's crazy. Nerfing the damage by that much would make her absolutely useless. Not to mention that this would also imply a charge rate nerf. So yeah, even more absurd. Angelo Master Flash cooldown. I don't care about that gadget. I really don't. Jaeyoung. Party mode attack heal. Oh, what? Supercharge over time. I can respect that. Time slow song. Yeah, no one uses the slow gadgets. I don't know why, because I don't play Jaeyoung. I've only really faced him and played with him in ranked a couple times, so reducing the heal by that much is stupid. Yeah. He's a support. I understand that he also has the speed, but I am pretty sure that a lot of people use the heal, so nerfing the heal by that insane amount is just ridiculous. Supercharge over time, I understand, and understand even more if it charged the hypercharge, but because it doesn't, by what, 0.667, are you really going to sleep better at night by 2/3 of a second? I don't think so, personally. And if you want to nerf his charge rates, like, you could also nerf his regular attack charge rate, I think. But that's just an idea. Pam. Attack and load. Okay, that's good. Her hypercharge actually gets added, yes. We have been waiting for it for just a stupid amount of time. I don't understand. Are they going to change it, or are they going to release it? Imagine how disappointed it would be if it was just what we already saw, like, what, half a year ago at this point, I believe? The Endle time is also a really good buff. I feel like just allow her to deal the damage more frequently. Chuck. Max range damage increased from 540 to 810. Is this at base? Does he really deal that little damage at max range? Like, I only play him in, Heist and Hot Zone. And, does he really deal that little to no damage at max range? I actually had no idea. Ghost Train cooldown. Buffing what I believe is a strong gadget, it's a mistake. Hypercharge lets he supercharge 40% faster. Okay. Hypercharge no longer creates damaging smoke. And the dash range, it's reduced. So, I actually don't like this. Increasing the damage just to make him, a bit more versatile, I guess, at long range. But that's not really how you play him. And the hypercharge charging your super 40% faster, it's just to make it like, if you already travel everything around the map, most of the times I think you're going to only have like 1 second left of the hypercharge. So I don't really like this. Like, honestly, these choke change that I would really not want to see.